बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम स्टूडेंट्स। उम्मीद करता हूँ कि आप सब लोग खैरियत के साथ होंगे and I welcome you all here today to the 12th lecture of Consumer Psychology. Students, in our last lecture we finished chapter number 2, which was Consumer Research. Today we are going to start the third chapter, and the title of the chapter is Market Segmentation. You must be remembering that we discussed market segmentation briefly in chapter number 1. We discussed that market segmentation is one of the very powerful tools to implement the marketing concept. Do you remember the marketing concept? Well, let me refresh your memory. Marketing concept was the business concept owing to which the company started thinking that they should be making the products that consumers want. So they started focusing more and more upon finding out that what kind of products and what kind of features do the consumers like in their products. We discussed with reference to the marketing concept that market segmentation is one of the very powerful tools to implement the marketing concept. This was to understand that what market segmentation actually entails. In this chapter, students, we will try to see the concept of market segmentation more closely. And we will not only see that what market segmentation actually is, but we will also try to explore the concept and its related tools more closely. We will then discuss the criteria of effective targeting, and finally we will have some discourse on the implementation of the segmentation strategies. Students, so let me briefly tell you about the contents of the chapters. As you can see on the slide, the contents include, number 1, what is market segmentation? In the concept of what is market segmentation, we will discuss who uses market segmentation and how market segmentation operates. The next topic of the chapter is basis for segmentation. And in that, we will discuss 8 different bases for segmentation. These include, number 1, geographic segmentation, number 2, demographic segmentation, number 3, psychographic segmentation, number 4, sociocultural segmentation. Then there is use-related segmentation, use situation segmentation, benefit segmentation, and finally, hybrid segmentation approaches. The third part of the chapter is criteria for effective targeting of market segmentation. And in this part, we will have 4 subparts to be discussed. These include identification, sufficiency, stability, as well as accessibility. And finally and lastly, we will discuss implementing segmentation strategies. And in that, we will discuss concentrated versus differentiated segmentation, and finally, counter segmentation. So students, let us start lecture number 12, and let me briefly tell you about the objectives of this lecture. After going through this lecture, you will be able to comprehend the concept of market segmentation. You will also be able to learn that the market segmentation and how market segmentation operates. And then we will discuss the market segmentation basis, and if we have sufficient time available to us, we will discuss 2 main bases of the market segmentation, and these include, number 1, geographic segmentation, and number 2, demographic segmentation. So students, let us go towards the topic of market segmentation. Before we discuss the market segmentation, let us just concentrate over the word, what is market? So what do you think market is? Yes, you're right in thinking that market is actually people. The people out there who constitute the market. Without people, market is nothing. Markets are constituted by people, but do you think all of the people constitute market? No, you're right in thinking that as well. Market is constituted only by the people who have the power to buy, who have the willingness to buy, as well as who have the authority to buy. So students, the 3 important characteristics of the people who constitute the market are, as we discussed, the willingness to buy, the purchasing power, as well as authority to buy. When we talk about willingness to buy, what does it actually mean? Let's suppose in market there are many different kinds of people, and they are willing to purchase many different kinds of products. The willingness can be enhanced or it can be decreased. There are various factors that increase the willingness of the consumers to purchase the products, and simultaneously there are various other reasons that consumers are not willing to purchase certain other kinds of products. So willingness is very important phenomena, and a lot of times the promotional and advertisement strategy is just over how people's willingness can be improved to purchase a certain product. When we talk about the purchasing power, this is also a very important consideration to be focused upon by the marketeers. So the ambitious marketeers always desire to take their products to the industrialized cities of the world. In industrialized cities of the world, they find people who have better purchasing power. And these consumers can pay a better price for the products that different product manufacturing companies are introducing in those markets. So students, the purchasing power becomes a very important factor and consideration for the marketeers. The next in the line is authority to buy. Authority to buy is also very, very important. For example, if you look at the unit of the home or the unit of the family, families usually have their figureheads, and then there is a husband and wife, then they have the kids. Most of the times in the families, it is thought that the buying power or the buying authority is with the master of the house, which is usually the man. However, if we look at it closely, then we will find out that authority to buy is a direct authority, and it has indirect implications upon it as well. Usually the buying decisions are made in the families in cooperation or in consultation with each other. Kids as well as the housewives are constantly helping make the decisions to purchase different kinds of products. At times we think that kids probably have very little buying power, but what would you say about large industry that is based upon developing specialized products for the kids? These include toys and the kids' educational items, etc. In purchasing these items, kids usually exercise direct authority in the purchase decision. And at other times, they are exercising indirect authority in the purchase of those products by impacting the decision of their parents or their elderly family members. Which is why marketeers realize this fact that they can always entice the kids into purchasing certain products, and that is why the kids' products are made very, very attractive, and they are placed in the retail stores on positions where kids could go close to them and touch them. This is just to enhance the kids' buying power or kids' influence in making the product purchase related decision. Students, let's now discuss market segmentation, and let me refresh your memory about this concept. We define market segmentation as the process of dividing market into subsets of consumers with common needs or characteristics. And we discussed that diversity and segmentation are two processes that go hand in hand with each other. If there is no diversity, then there is no concept of segmentation. We discussed that human beings come from many different backgrounds. They come from many different races, cultures. They speak many different languages. They are influenced by many different environmental variables of certain geographical locations that they live into. There are so many factors that are impacting them. So there is a huge diversity when we talk about the consumers. Since there is huge diversity, then it allows the marketeers to group the like-minded consumers into groups. So segmentation is only possible if there is a diversity of individuals existing out there, and those diverse individuals could be grouped together with reference to certain common characteristics or certain common need patterns or certain common other factors. So segmentation is a very, very important and powerful tool of the marketing concept. But at this point, a question might come into your mind that why do we need to divide people into groups? I mean, look at a business. A business, when they are trying to market different products, they go through extensive pains and extensive hard work and extensive finances are invested into researching the right kind of segmentations and finding out that how different people can be grouped together into various consumer categories. Why not a company develop one kind of product and they start marketing one product to all kinds of consumers that are available in the market? And doing so, they can always use a singular promotional strategy that would equally work good for every one of the consumers out there in the market? This question is very legitimate, and let's have a little bit of discourse on this question. Students, at this point, let me introduce you to yet another concept of marketing, which is called mass marketing. Mass marketing is the concept that conceives that all of the consumers are alike. If all of the consumers are alike with same needs and wants, same desires, same cultural backgrounds, same education levels, and the same ages, then it is very logical for the industrialists or the product manufacturing companies to come up with just one product that would equally serve the needs of everyone out there. Similarly, then products manufacturing companies would come up with the same and singular promotional and advertisement strategy that would equally work for all kinds of consumers that exist out there in the market. So if we talk about this kind of marketing, then this is called undifferentiated or mass marketing. Undifferentiated or mass marketing means offering the same product and same marketing mix to all of the consumers out there in the market. Students, but do you think that this is the way the products are sold? Do you think that all of the consumers are of the similar type? Do you think they come from the same age, race, religion, sex, and experiences? No. Consumers are very, very different from each other, and they come from very diverse backgrounds. So when a marketer will try to sell a product based upon a singular marketing and promotional strategy, then probably that marketer will have to base that product on one basic generic need. And when he's basing his product on one basic generic need, then he ends up appealing to no one. Let's, for example, take a refrigerator. Let's suppose there is a company that manufactures medium-sized refrigerators. And this is the only product that they manufacture, and they try to market the same medium-sized refrigerator to all kinds of consumers who are interested in purchasing refrigerators. And they also use the same promotional strategy, but let's concentrate over the usage of the refrigerator. In the market out there, there are many different kinds of consumers. Let's suppose there is a youngster who's living in a bachelor accommodation, which is a small studio apartment. Studio apartments are usually single rooms that are good enough for being the sitting room, the lounge, the drawing room, the television room, as well as the bedroom. Usually the studio apartments have a small place to be used as kitchen, and there is an attached bathroom in the studio apartments. So when bachelors are living in studio apartments, they need small things that could easily be adjusted into the small room that is available to them. Now let's suppose that there is only one medium-sized refrigerator. Do you think this young man do you think that this young man's needs with reference to a refrigerator can be fulfilled by a medium-sized refrigerator? Don't you think that medium-sized refrigerator would be a little bit too big for this young man? Let's look at another type of consumer. Let's suppose there is a big family living in a big house, and let's suppose that there are about 10 to 12 people living in that home. Do you think that medium-sized refrigerator would provide enough room for them to store their perishable items in that refrigerator? No, that refrigerator would be too small for them. So the bottom line is that mass marketing is only possible with some products that are very generic in nature. However, with most of the products, mass marketing is not a good idea. And mass marketing should be avoided as much as the product marketeers can. Students, at this point, let me tell you that segmentation allows the marketeers to avoid head-on collision with each other, which means that if all of the product manufacturers in a certain product category are making the same product, then they are going to collide with each other. They are going to bump into each other. The market segmentation concept allows the producers to market their products based upon the unique features that they have to offer. These are not just the product's features, but also the packaging, the styling of their products as well. And other than that, there are different distribution methods, there are different distribution channels, and different services attached with selling of the products that make these products more attractive or unattractive for certain kinds of consumers. So students, segmentation is the first step in the three-phase marketing strategy. After the marketeers have divided the consumers into homogeneous clusters, which means that they have divided the consumers into groups who share similar characteristics, then the next step will be to target these groups with a particular individualized marketing mix. We discussed in chapter number 1 that marketing mix is consists of a company's products or services and different tools and methods that this company uses in order to exchange the products to the consumers. The marketing mix consists of the 4 P's. These 4 P's we discussed were number 1, product, number 2, price, number 3, promotion, number 4, place. So we discussed that marketing mix is individually tailored to target every individual segment that the marketeers have identified in order to market their products in the target consumers. The third step of the marketing process is positioning the product in the minds of the consumers. Students, we discussed that positioning is the process through which marketeers establish the distinct image of a product in the minds of its consumers. And at this point, let me tell you that there are many different products in a certain product category. Or we could say that there are many different brands in a certain product category that are being marketed in a certain segment of the consumers. Let me give you an example. There are many different kinds of carbonated soft drinks that are being marketed into the Pakistani markets. And then there are many different kinds of detergent powders also. So just remind yourself of different television commercials that you see with reference to different carbonated soft drinks and different detergent powders. And if you just concentrate for a little while, you would find out that each of these advertisements is trying to communicate a different unique selling point of their product to their target consumers. Sometimes they are targeting different lifestyles when we talk about carbonated soft drinks. They are targeting different age groups. They are offering different kinds of benefits with reference to the taste of that soft drink. And sometimes they are offering different styles to the youngsters, which means that they show different role models in their advertisements who are drinking a particular carbonated soft drink in a particular fashion that will be aspired by the teenagers out there. Similarly, detergent powders have different ways of communicating their unique benefits to their target consumers. Sometimes they are marketing the benefit of the best wash, the best brightness in the clothes that would come after washing them with particular detergent powder. Sometimes they are just simply projecting the benefit of the price as well. So there are many different ways a segment can be targeted, which means that there are many different bases upon which different segments are designed, or many different bases according to which the consumers are divided. So in order to understand a complicated concept, the figures make it usually very easy. So let me show you in a figure that if the segmentation has not been done, then how the market looks like. You could see on the slide different heads appearing. These are just random heads, and we can conceive of them as consumers in the market. If we have not segmented these consumers into certain categories, then they would simply appear as random heads. However, if we have divided them into different groups or different clusters with reference to different characteristics that are similar amongst those groups, then the random group of people would look something like this. As you can see on the slide, the heads have been divided into different figures, and these different figures are actually different segments that could be targeted with an individually tailored marketing mix. So students, this was the basic understanding about marketing segmentation. Now let's move our lecture forward and touch the next topic, which is who uses the market segmentation. Students, market segmentation is used by all of the industries, organizations, and institutions that exist, which means market segmentation is a tool, is a process that can be beneficial for all kinds of organizations. And since product manufacturing companies are eager marketeers, then they always utilize from the tool of the market segmentation. Let's take the example of the cars. The cars are manufactured in Pakistan as a family vehicle, and they are also marketed as family vehicles. Whenever you look at the advertisement of a car, you watch the advertisement of a car on television, it goes hands in hands with the concept of family. Car is always projected as a family vehicle. There are some other segment bases as well which are used to market the cars. Income levels are another factor for segmenting the cars. Pakistani cars may be small or Pakistani cars may be medium-sized, but they are always projected as family vehicle. There is a small range of small cars that caters for the needs of a very big category of consumers, which is middle class. Middle class cars in Pakistan are usually small. They are designed in such a way that it is very easy for the local mechanics to handle their problems, which means that their bodies and their engines are simple enough that the local mechanics, the local denters and painters could handle different kinds of problems with these cars and offer instant repair at a very cheap price. So the engines and body makeup of these cars is very simple. Then there are bigger cars as well, which are marketed to the upper middle class as well as the rich class. And even the cars are bigger, still they are projected as the family vehicles. Marketing of these cars sometimes goes in hands with the bank lease as well. Over the last few years, the bank lease has become very, very popular in Pakistan. The consumer's capacity to buy the cars has increased by manifold. And you would come across sometimes television advertisements in which a certain financial institution or bank has joined hands with a certain car manufacturer, and the advertisement is about a certain kind of car that can be purchased from a certain bank on lease. And if the consumers buy this car from the same bank on lease, then there will be different benefits offered to these consumers. Students, cars are also taken as a symbol of social status, and this is one of the very powerful bases the cars are being segmented in our country. We discussed in chapter number 1 that owning a product also signifies something about the owner of that product, which means that people, when they purchase car, they find that their social status has elevated a little bit, and this desire or need has been used effectively by the cars manufacturers in their advertisements. However, this has also helped them find out a very strong base upon which they can group different consumers of the cars together. And once they find out that the car is a symbol of social status, then they can target their promotional and advertisement strategy accordingly. At this point, let me ask you one question about the Pakistani scene of the cars. Did you ever come across an advertisement of a Pakistani manufactured car that is a sports car? I have never come across an advertisement of sports car from Pakistan. And neither have I ever come across any advertisement of any sports car in Pakistan manufactured locally or imported from another country. Similarly, hardly there are any cars that are projected as females' cars or males' youngsters' cars. In other countries, the cars can be projected as female cars or the youngsters' cars, which can be driven both by males as well as females. Usually these cars are sporty looking, they have smaller rears, and they have extremely aerodynamic shapes, which are very attractive for the youngsters to purchase. And these cars are usually associated with the segment of the youngsters, which means that age plays a significant role in identifying this particular segment. Let us talk about mobile phones. Mobile phone was a thing of social status about 25 to 30 years ago when mobile phones started coming in Pakistan. I remember at that time mobile phones were very big and they were so very expensive that only few of the elite class people would be able to purchase these mobile phones. However, as the technology developed, as more and more foreign players came in Pakistan and more international companies started investing in Pakistan. So during the last 20 years, mobile phones have grown cheaper and cheaper every other day. And now the mobile phones are segmented along the basis of income groups, social status, age groups, psychological segmentations along the variables of personality, needs, motivations, perceptions, as well as psychographic segmentation that includes lifestyles, etc. Now you would come across a variety of mobile phones advertisements, and even the mobile phones are of many different types. These types start from very cheap mobile phones to very expensive looking mobile phones as well. Now, there are many different features added in the mobile phones as well, which is why the benefit segmentation is also a very powerful base upon which the consumers are being grouped together. Nowadays, you would come across a modern mobile phone that is not just providing the facility of listening and making phone calls, but also this is a small mini computer in the hands of the people. On this computer, you could store your files, you could store your important data, as well as you could store your music. और चलते फिरते आप अपने मोबाइल फ़ोन से म्यूज़िक भी सुन सकते हैं. इसके अलावा अभी रिसेंटली मोबाइल फ़ोन्स के अंदर टेलीविज़न की सर्विस भी इंट्रोड्यूस करवाई गई है, जिससे आप अपने मोबाइल फ़ोन से मुख्तलिफ टेलीविज़न चैनल्स भी देख सकते हैं. और साथ ही साथ क्योंकि मोबाइल फ़ोन्स कनेक्टिविटी प्रोवाइड करते हैं, तो मोबाइल फ़ोन्स के ज़रिए बैंकिंग भी हो रही है. और इसके साथ ही साथ you could always connect with the main databases of your office through your mobile phones computers. These mobile phones are very expensive because of the features that are added into them, and their cost is actually the cost of the technology that is pitched into these mobile phones. However, there are very cheap mobile phones as well. And nowadays, you would find out that mobile phone, from being a social status about 20 years ago, अब मोबाइल फ़ोन्स जो हैं वो एक ज़रूरत की चीज़ बन चुके हैं, क्योंकि ये हमारे लाइफस्टाइल में इतने ज़्यादा आ चुके हैं कि हम शायद मोबाइल फ़ोन के बगैर तसव्वुर नहीं कर सकते कि बिज़नेस को किस तरह से कंडक्ट किया जा सकता है. Students, I hope you would have understood that in Pakistan, the market segmentation process is being used very effectively by different industries. However, at this point, let me give you an example जहाँ पर segment-driven marketing activity नहीं हो रही. मिसाल के तौर पर अगर आपने एक घड़ी खरीदनी हो. I remember a few weeks back, I had to purchase a watch, and I went out in the market and I got very confused over there. I found out that there is a range of watches available. These watches start from being very cheap to being very expensive. और इनमें से कोई भी watch ऐसी नहीं थी जो पाकिस्तान में manufacture की गई हो. Most of these watches were imported or smuggled. So when I had to make a decision as to which watch should I buy, there was a wide range of watches available to me. However, I could not associate with any of those watches because I have not seen any advertisements or promotions regarding watches. It is true that we come across advertisements of international watches, sometimes on the televisions, and sometimes we come across the advertisements of watches in the magazines as well. However, these international brand of watches comes very expensive in Pakistan. But simultaneously, there is another factor. In Pakistan, there is a huge black market of the smuggled replicas of the international brands. Smuggled replicas means that international brands की copies बना के market में भेजी जाती हैं, जो देखने में बिल्कुल international brand की तरह लगती हैं, लेकिन वो original watches नहीं होती. So there is a problem as to identifying that if you are purchasing an international watch, is this real one or is it not real one? So you see, when there is little segment-driven marketing activity, then consumers tend to get confused. So we established at the start of this lecture and over the last 11 lectures that marketing concept was developed as a tool not only to benefit the consumers but also to benefit the marketeers as well. This is a way to kind of synthesize the entire activity in such a way that it provides benefits to everyone who is involved or who is engaged in the process of buying and selling. Students, at this point, let's move our lecture forward, and let me give you one final example of how market segmentation strategies is being used by the development sector as well. Development sector is a recently newly established sector in the world. You might be thinking what development sector is. Development sector works hands in hands with three organizations who deliver the development-related target objectives. These organizations are governments, donor organizations, and individuals, as well as non-government organizations. About 15 years ago, the concept of development sector or the development-related organizations or even non-government organizations was very unique, and very few people knew about these kinds of organizations. However, nowadays, development sector has flourished not only in the world but also in Pakistan as well. So, NGOs are specialized organizations who develop the capacity to deliver certain community development projects. NGOs usually consist of people who are specialists in handling social development projects. So one of their basic capacities or one of their basic expertise is in the field that they could design different projects in the area that is their specialized area, and they can deliver social development objectives. The specialized areas for NGOs could be disaster and relief management, this could be intercultural harmony, this could be alleviating poverty, removing poverty, this could be for the gender rights or the female rights. So there are a variety of missions around which different NGOs come into being. NGOs, when they develop different projects, then they need different financiers so that those projects could be carried out in a certain community to deliver the development objectives. When it comes down to searching for the finances for a social development project, then there are donor organizations as well as the government organizations who are in the capacity of helping the NGOs not only financially but in kind as well, which means sometimes NGOs को finance कर दिया जाता है और other times NGOs को वो resources provide किए जाते हैं जो अगर खरीदे जाएं तो शायद बहुत expensive हों. NGOs अपने specialized area के इर्द गिर्द अपनी capacity को बढ़ाते हैं और अपनी इस capacity को advertise करते हैं in their target sector, which is donor organizations as well as individuals who are in the capacity to pay. So NGOs are constantly using the market segmentation process in which the benefit segmentation is one of their important domains. So students, this was a brief review, rather a very brief review of the way the segmentation strategies are used in the Pakistani market. I hope you would have understood the intricacies, but just remember the main line that segmentation strategy can be used by every business, institution or organization, regardless of what is the nature of their business or services that they are offering to their target consumers. Students, segmentation studies are designed to cover the needs and wants of specific groups of people. This is done in order to find out that what are the particular desires and needs of certain groups so that the products could be customized according to the relevant desires and needs of that particular group of target consumers. Segmentation is done for various different reasons, and there are various different ways the segmentation can be done. If we talk about the drives or the motivation or the basic reasons behind doing the segmentation, then there are certain points that you can remember quickly. One of those points is segmentation is done to fill in the gaps in the marketplace. Many new products have been introduced in the markets to fill the gaps in the marketplace revealed by the segmentation studies. For example, in Pakistani market of the cars, the CNG fitted cars is a new phenomenon. Before that, the Pakistani cars were on the fuels. Petrol is expensive in Pakistan, and driving the car more frequently with petrol was becoming very, very costlier for the consumers. At this point, there were certain private players who introduced the CNG kits. Initially, people looked at the CNG kits with a bit of reservation because उन्होंने ये सोचना शुरू किया कि अगर हम अपनी गाड़ी के अंदर CNG kits लगवाते हैं तो शायद इससे कोई engine के अंदर problem ना हो जाए और CNG किट लगवाने से हमारी गाड़ी को कोई नुकसान ना पहुंच जाए। इसके साथ ही साथ उनके जहन में ये सोच भी होती थी कि CNG किट हमें राइट अमाउंट ऑफ पावर देगी या नहीं। तो एट द अर्ली स्टेजेस व्हेन द CNG किट्स वर बीइंग मार्केटेड इन पाकिस्तान और लोगों के अंदर ये आहिस्ता आहिस्ता पॉपुलर हो रही थी, उस ज़माने में लोगों का ख्याल था कि CNG किट्स जो हैं वो गाड़ी में फिट करवाने के लिए कोई बहुत अच्छी चीज़ नहीं है। लेकिन वक्त के साथ साथ पेट्रोल की कीमतें बढ़ती गईं और CNG किट्स की क्वालिटी जो है वो आस्ता आस्ता इम्प्रूव होती गई। एंड इवेंचुअली द बिगर कार मैन्युफैक्चर प्लेयर्स इन पाकिस्तान दे रियलाइज दैट having a CNG kit in the car is an additional benefit that could be provided to the target consumers. So the concept came, the company fitted CNG cars. And now there are certain car manufacturers who always fit a CNG kit in the cars and before they launch it in the market. And they advertise the CNG kit as a unique selling point of their cars. And CNG kits have become very, very popular in Pakistan now. And you would find out that on the CNG gas station, there is usually more crowd and large queues of the people who are waiting in the line to get their tanks filled than on the petrol stations. The next topic is basis for segmentation. The first step in the segmentation strategy is to select the most appropriate basis on which to segment the market. Let me say that again to you, that the very first step of developing a segmentation strategy is to identify that what are those bases on which the segments will be designed or defined. This is very important. And there are different kinds of segments that can be thought about in this reference. There are 8 popular kinds of segments that are most frequently used by the marketeers. Let me show you those 8 different segment bases. These include number 1, geographic segmentation. Number 2, demographic segmentation. Number 3, psychographic segmentation. Number 4, sociocultural segmentation. Use situation segmentation. Number 7, benefit segmentation. And number 8, hybrid segmentation. Students, let's talk about the segmentation number 1, which is geographic segmentation. It is very easy to understand that consumers can be divided according to the area or the location that they come from, which means that consumers could be divided geographically. And the idea behind this strategy is that people living on the same place are likely to have the similar needs, desires, wants, and requirements, because people, when they group together because there are certain similar characteristics amongst them that bind them into the groups. So people living in a certain geographic area will always have certain characteristics that are similar in all of the people sharing that geographical area. When we talk about the geographic segmentation, then there are different variables that are included in geographic segmentation. As you could see on the slide, these include number 1, region, number 2, city size, number 3, density of area, and number 4, climate. To give you an example of the geographic segmentation, let me tell you a few things about the popular station for vacationing, a popular hill station of Pakistan, that is Murree. Let me give you a bit of information on Murree, and then we will try to guess that what kind of products can be marketed more effectively in a place like Murree. Murree is the largest town in the Galiat area of Pakistan. It is the capital of Tehsil Murree, which is an administrative division of Rawalpindi district. Its present accepted altitude is 2,300 meters, which means 7,500 feet. Tehsil Murree now spreads over 150 square kilometers. The population of Tehsil Murree is 500,000. And if we talk about the urban area, then the population is between 25,000 to 30,000 people. Murree's proximity to Islamabad and Rawalpindi makes it a beautiful location and easily accessible for the tourists to come here. And tourists can always find decent vehicles or decent transportation to come to Murree from Rawalpindi and Islamabad. Most of the tourists come here on their own vehicles. So students, this was a bit of geographical information about Murree. I have also told you a little bit about the population of Murree. So let us discuss some of the important or salient features of Murree. These are, The temperature in Murray is cold, which means that throughout the year the temperature remains lower. And summer is most beautiful time period in Murray because the temperature in the entire country is very hot, while in Murray it is very pleasant. So much so that sometimes in the evenings or during the nights, people have to take comforters while sleeping. The second important thing is that most population in Murray is rural. The urban side of Murray is very small. When we talk about population, this is only 25 to 30,000 people. Urban town is based upon the industry of tourism, and during the season of peak, the business of the urban city of Murray is based upon the tourists coming to Murray and living here for some time. Students, you have listened about Murray, few facts about Murray, and you have heard a little bit of the geographical characteristics of the place Murray. Now, let me give you a list of products, and let's try to guess that which products can be more easily marketed in Murray than other products. As you could see on the slide, the list of products includes electrical appliances, food items, warm clothing, books, dry fruit, furniture items, toys, shoes, leather crafts, traditional handicrafts, jewelry, gift items, weather gear. You have seen the list of the products. Now, what do you think? Which products could be more easily marketed in Murray? Now, your guess is pretty right, and you are quite right in identifying the products of food items, warm clothing, furniture items, dry fruits, leather crafts, traditional handicrafts and jewelry, gift items, as well as weather gear. You're right that these products can be more easily marketed in a place like Murray. Electrical appliances probably might not be very easily marketed in Murray because Murray is a rural area, and since this is away up in the mountains, then electrical supply is usually broken down, and it's not very consistent. Then in Murray, the urban population is very little, and the rural population usually depends upon their own resources, the locally and indigenously produced resources, to deal with all kinds of problems that are solved by the electrical appliances. Furniture items will also be popular because Murray is a place where the industry is tourism, so there are different hotels and restaurants and people frequently come over here, so furniture would be a good sales item. Leather crafts are also good because people come to these places, and since the weather is cold, the leather products and the leather crafts will be quite popular in such conditions. Similarly, gift items and weather gear would also be popular items. Students, at this point, let me also give you a brief brush with the concept of global marketing strategy. Nowadays, our lifestyle is replete with the usage of internet, satellite televisions, and toll-free numbers. When we talk about internet has brought us very close to each other. Simultaneously, cable television has also brought us very close to each other. Now, our information level across different countries, across different regions of the world are almost similar. So, to the medium of internet as well as cable television, there is an international audience of consumers. And at this point, certain marketeers have started thinking that there could be an international global marketing strategy that could be used to cater for all kinds of consumers that exist in different kinds of countries. What do you think about it? When we talk about the global marketing strategy, it means कि पूरी दुनिया के जितने भी ममालिक हैं, उनमें से ज़्यादातर ममालिक में के लोगों के लिए एक ही एडवर्टाइजमेंट और प्रमोशन स्ट्रेटजी बनाई जाए एक ही प्रोडक्ट के लिए. और उसके ज़रिए उस प्रोडक्ट को मार्केट किया जाए. So that is the global marketing strategy. Geographical segmentation versus global market segmentation has been the fuel for a huge debate amongst the consumer researchers as well as market researchers. At this point, let me also tell you that consumer researchers have consistently found that the consumption patterns or consumption behavior is divergent amongst the people living in the urban areas and the people living in the rural areas. If we talk about Pakistan, the example is very, very clear. Usually in the Pakistan rural areas, people, when they have to buy their electronic appliances or when they have to purchase certain technical equipment, then they usually go to the cities. They also move to the cities for higher or better education, as well as when they have to purchase some extremely intricate items of clothing and dressing, then these people have to go to the cities in order to make their purchases. However, in urban areas, if we look at there, then we'll find out that over the last few years, there has been a constant influx of population in the urban areas. This influx of population is only because that urban areas are well equipped and they provide the right kind of lifestyle to the people that they desire and that they cannot find out in the rural areas, which means better academic opportunities, better career opportunities. Academic and career opportunities provide the residents of the urban areas with better qualities, with better characteristics in order to have good professions and make more money than the people living in the rural areas. So every year this influx of population in the urban areas is increasing more and more, and the economy is also developing more and more in the urban areas. However, because of the influx of the population, usually in Pakistan the resources of a particular urban area are not able to match up with the growing number of the people, and which is why the cities are gradually day by day getting under the pressure of more and more population, which has certain ramifications in the consumption behavior as well. Students, at this point we are running short of time. We will discuss the remaining part of the geographic segmentation in greater detail later on. At this point, let me say you goodbye. अपना ख्याल रखिएगा, अपने दोस्तों का ख्याल रखिएगा. Thank you very much for being with me. See you in the next lecture. खुदा हाफिज.